I cast this circle in a love and light. I cast this circle full of love that's bright, to undo all that's bad and unclean, to bring in all that I might dream. Hi guys, Tuva here. This is going to be such a different video today. It is not the one that I planned to do, but it is one that I feel is very necessary, because there are many of us out there that practice our craft knowing there's so much work to be done within, and we call that, or some of us call that, the shadow work, dealing with the shadow self. Now, I truly believe there is a difference in what the world would visualise as shadow work as to what us witches would class as shadow work. To me, I call it walking with the shadow, for the shadow cannot be detached from us. It is us. Whatever we do, it does. Whatever time of day or night, it represents itself. We cannot ever be guarded from it or released from it, and vice versa. It cannot be released from us either. Now, this is my take on it, guys. This is nothing to do with what's read or wrote in books. You take from this what you would like to take from it, because I am not a professional on this sort of subject. All I know is what I have done in my craft, and as a Norse Seder practitioner, the shadow is always there, present and able to swallow you. And so we deal with it in our own ways. Now, today on the altar I have a very basic candle for purity, for light. I also have a feather denoting the mind, air, learning. And we have our sage stick. This has not come from anywhere other than England, and so has been grown here. I am using sage because I find it does the job better than some of the others. Not saying that they don't work, the others, but you have to find the one that works for you, guys. At the end of the day, it's all about personalisation of your craft. These are just tips and ideas for you to take on board. Now, when I started this, I did a circle because I like to contain, when doing this sort of stuff, contain the area. Before we get into it, I would like to read you an excerpt about where this came from. Now, in the mundane world, there was a man called Carl Jung, and I think everybody knows of him. And in the year of 1951, he recognised the fact that there was this thing called the shadow self. Okay, guys, so this is what Carl Jung had to say. One of the quotes that, and one of the many quotes that he actually did do. And it says, "The shadow is a moral problem that challenges the whole ego personality, for no one can become conscious of the shadow without considerable moral effort. To become conscious of it involves recognizing the dark aspects of the personality as present and very real. This act is the essential condition for any kind of self-knowledge." Now, the one thing that I learnt when I was in the coven setting, in a very large coven, the training was that we had to learn about our other side of ourselves to really know ourselves. And that is very true. You do need to know all of yourself, but all that happens over a period of time by looking into ourselves, by meditating, by doing the exercises that the witches will do that other people don't, will bring you face to face with your shadow, the side of you which a lot of people say the dark side of you. And I beg to differ on that. As a Seder practitioner, we use all energy, we use all personality, we use all of us. And as such, we find that there are many levels to this shadow. There's the golden side, there's the silver side, there's the white side, there's the grey side, there's the black side. You have many sides, and they can be in conflict with each other. Now, the golden side is the side that doesn't want you to know yourself, but to have an ideal of yourself and think that that is what others think of you. Again, different colours mean different things. You have the white colour, which is you feeling you are the pure spiritual being, the one that knows everything, that you can help everyone, that it's all there for you. And again, is that how others portray you? Or is that an illusion? And this is what I mean, guys. You could get caught up in all these different aspects to the shadow self, the part of you that is hidden normally away from others. So you say to me, why do we deal with it then? What is the point? Well, in the craft, to know yourself is to know and get knowledge, to know your downfalls as well as your good parts makes you a whole, because there is a thing called polarity. If you know your traits, you know the parts of you that you'd rather not know, you can deal with it and make it maybe more accessible in the right way. You don't need to dismiss it and push it away, because you were born this way. It is you. It is part of you. But you can do things to make use of these parts in a good way rather than a detrimental way, so that no one gets hurt, including yourself. And you say to me, so how would you start? Well, a good way to start, guys, is to ask deity for their help. They will point out. They will not take you to the point. They will not tell you exactly what it is, but they will show you the way to finding out. So, for example, it's a Monday and you go out and somebody bumps into you and doesn't say sorry. What is your immediate thought? Do you suddenly say, oh, sorry, but later think, oh, that person was horrible. Oh, I hate that person. Why was they so rude? Again, that is a part of you, and a part that needs to be acknowledged, but also a part that doesn't need to be there. It's something that happened. It's something you just push to one side. So that person has a problem. Doesn't mean you have to have a problem. So you can look on that aspect and think, now why did I react that way? What was the point of it? Why did I waste that energy and that time during that day thinking about it and getting upset about it, when that person probably didn't even acknowledge that they'd actually done that? And we can liken that to the runes when they tell you this very thing. It's a choice that we make. And choices can be changed. Now, I like to do a sage cleansing of myself. And you can do that too. You've started your circle. Now you saw me start the circle. That contains the energy within what you will be doing. And the next part is to light your sage stick. And you're going to cleanse yourself so that any work that you do will start from a good foundation. You need to be cleansed so that the deep stuff will be easily accessible. And so I'm going to give you a couple of little exercises that you can do. There are many types of shamans in the world, and they all use different types of things to cleanse themselves, and sage is one of them, and it does grow in this country too. So first of all, you want to use your feather and put the smoke over you. Now, because when we have problems with our shadow self, it's normally around the back of the spine of the head that a lot of it gets trapped. So we're going to bring the stick around, and as you do this you might feel a tugging sensation, making sure that you get a lot of this at the back and around the shoulder area. Now this is because it's here we hold all the thoughts and all the feelings in the headspace, and it's because it's in the headspace that it then filters down to the heart. So we want to soften the heart and bring out anything that might be causing this problem. So you may not know what it is that's going to come up, but when you're doing this, a thought or a feeling might come into your mind. You might remember a situation that you had and didn't deal with very well, and it's at that point, did it happen yesterday, today? Making sure you do this. You can cleanse the rest of your body, but I like to just do this area because it will dissipate down through you. You might even start to feel sick, guys, as it wafts through, as it cleanses through. You might start to feel emotional, you might want to cry, you might want to shout, you might want to feel like running away. And when you get to your heart and your solar plexus area, this could very much happen. And I am feeling a tug today on my heart. I am feeling very, very emotional. And you will feel it, you will sense it. And this is a good thing, this is not a bad thing. And the reason why is because there are things to be dealt with that your shadow self doesn't want you to deal with. So once you've done this for a while and you're starting to feel the emotions and you're starting to feel something stirring, and within me I feel things that I've been dealing with for years, and these things do take time to deal with. It could be something from your childhood, it could be something now that's interfering with your relationships at this precise time. I want you to close your eyes. However you're feeling, guys, just give in to that sensation, listening to the drum as I beat it, and you can feel this feelings bubbling within you. I want you to see in front of you there is a pathway with arrows pointing where you need to go. It's just one little path. It's black and empty all around it. You need to keep on the path. As you walk on the path, you can feel underneath your feet the firmness of the ground, and and you can see just ahead a small cabin, a little wooden hut, and there is smoke coming out the chimney. You walk and make your way towards this place, and as you get there, you are welcomed by the shaman. She comes to the door and she welcomes you in and tells you to sit by the fire that is burning. You need not say nothing to her, for she knows the reason why you're there. She comes over to you, and she too uses a smudge stick, and she shows you the smoke, but this time the smoke is taking out how you are feeling, and it is going into the fire. As it hits the fire, it all sizzles and makes crying, horrible noises as it dies and goes beyond. At this point, the shaman looks at you and says, with a nod, "You may go, child." So you make your way back down that path. You feel like you're escaping, and you make your way back really quickly now. When you get to the point where you're coming back, you feel less emotional, less anxious, and you feel a lot better. And you're back. There you go, guys. You can do this shadow work, but it's not delving deep into your subconscious. It's taking a thing each time it happens. So if something happens, an argument, something where you know deep down this has been caused either by you or your attitude, or you've upset somebody for no reason, go with that thought. Don't feel bad about it, because we all have these other sides to us. But if it's something that is bothering you, then do this ritual as soon as possible and go to the seer, go to the shaman and get rid of it. But you will get an understanding of how many times these things happen, how you can deal with it. Each time you do this, get yourself a shadow book. I call it Walking with My Shadow, and write that on the title, and then the day it happens, where you went, if the shaman, who might start giving you words, she might start to talk to you about things so that you can alleviate it, write it all in your book, and over a period of time you will start to see patterns. You will start to see that there is issues in certain areas of your personality, of your shadow, and they can be dealt with all sorts of therapies, Reiki. You can do self-cleansing, go to a practitioner, a shaman, or a healer of some sort. But once you know the areas and what is causing this, you can deal with it. But you will only know when you've got a period of time where certain things keep happening, because we are unaware of our impurities, of our shadows. So I hope that has helped you a bit, guys. I know this was different, but I've had an awful lot of people, clients, that have asked me for help with their shadow selves, because they have a different attitude to it, a different understanding of it. As a shaman myself, I have a different outlook on it, and it is something you can never lose, but it is something you can use. It is something that will benefit you rather than a disharmony in your life. use that energy, make use of all the energies. Doing this sort of work on a regular basis will really help you, but I do want you to understand there is a difference to craft shadow work to mundane worldly shadow work of the sort like Carl Jung. Yes, he brought it into being. There are many out there that spend years classing these aspects as mental illness, and in the mundane world that's what they are. But we all have traits, we all have shadows, but it doesn't mean they can't be used or treated the way we would like to be treated. And so on that note, I'm going to leave it here. But before I go, I really want to thank new subscribers to the channel. Thank you so much. For those that come back all the time and are supporting this channel, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Where would I be without you guys? And I will be back next week with readings for the week ahead. And I'm going to leave it there. Wherever you are, whatever time of day, night or evening it may be, I wish you the best ever. House of the Lang.